Hello and welcome. And this is Diana, and you are watching Holistic Vibes. I hope you are doing well. This is going to be a reading for Aries. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to throw it in 3 different sections. So you can just kind of take what resonates, leave the rest. There can very well be a connection to, the eagle energy is what they're kind of showing me. For those that don't know, I am a medium, but in actuality I hold every single gift. So we utilize scrying through flame, through water, and through my crystal ball. Okay. All right, Aries. So that's going to be like your first push. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's easier to just throw one at a time, or to do all. But this is the way they're saying to do it, and they want me to do it on camera. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why the light's not really like super, super bright right now. So pile number 1, broken promises. Everything kind of seems a little hazy. Overcoming your feels, having a mental entanglement. It could have to do in regards to adaptability in a partnership, or the inability of a partnership. It's wild because this prostitute card has come out. Like, I did a reading for you guys, and honestly, I was just kind of like, wow, this is a lot of past life energy, and it's kind of rough, right? And so either it was you or it was a partnership, but there was some kind of somebody was in love with a prostitute, or somebody essentially whored themselves out, right? Be it like they were a performer on the road, and they essentially, you know, it says time to get out of a situation, family sorrow, and forces working against you with the axe, right? And then it's prostitute, town beauty, femme fatale, struggling with appearances. So in this lifetime, you could very well look at yourself in the mirror and have that state of angst where your heart hurts, where your chest is heavy, where when you love 120%. And so when it ends, it really hits you, something fierce, right? And you could quite possibly have a religious devotion to your pathway in regards to the journey that you've taken. It could be you or your partner, is what they just said. You could be a caretaker, a philanthropist. You could be feeling like a martyr or a savior to many. And it could very well have stemmed in a lifetime where it was either World War One, or World War Two. And there can be this, it's almost this angst of never being fully happy, or feeling joy, or being in a state of like playfulness, lightheartedness, right? And so like every time you think about it, or you have this vision of a future family, there can be this onset of anxiety. You also could very well feel very at home in the mountains or in a high altitude, or there's just this calm and peace, and they're just kind of giving me like a humming in your environment to allow you that clarity into your higher self, into the open doorway, into the pathway that you need to see which way you're going as you proceed forward. It's almost like through the silence, through the clarity, through the one you connecting with the all that is, through like the lightheartedness of like the environment. Like again, you're in, like, they're just showing me like a big forest and you being in a state of peace. And that is going to bring you this kind of enlightenment, this awareness, this state where you are in a state of reflectiveness. Reflective? And maybe you're reflecting things. Maybe you're also like showing people like you're reflecting the people you're around, right? Because remember the saying, you are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with the most. And so like however they're cognitively aware or they're in a state of reflection, like that's essentially what you are picking up in your reality. Yeah. And so I'm going to start pile number 2. And you can have an unwavering faith. This can also coincide with pile number 1. But it's just stating that like you've been tested, but you know that your awareness and the way that you're tapping into all the things that are unfolding, are very much in a heightened state of divine, angelic, creation, manifestation. It's like you know exactly where you want to invest and where you're putting the work into, like what is going to create the pathway for the support in the reflection of the environment that you wish to create in, right? And so through your understanding of balance and that divine intervention, I'm not taking all of those. I only want like 2. And you could very well be feeling a little bit like a monk, like a Buddhist, somebody who is self-reflective or in a mystic state of being. And again, through the forest, it is clearly stated that Aries needs to get into the forest in order to stay in a state of reflection. And like you or your counterpart could be essentially waking up. And I know we're in winter in the northern hemisphere, but it's kind of like that. When you're in a state of a lack, like your anger and aggression and impediment comes out, right? Like, and it's not in a prideful way because you actually know when to ask for assistance if rubber meets the road. It's kind of like if you're at your wit's end, like you have no problem looking through at the tree through the forest, right? It's kind of like you're finding exactly, where your enlightenment and understanding in regards to your business or family manners comes through, right? And like through that awareness, of seeing I'm unsure of where I'm going, is essentially like, or the who I'm ending up with, right? Like, and they just said, who's your huckleberry? So maybe that's something that you jokingly say, is that you're looking for your huckleberry. But that is kind of like don't lean on your pride. Don't lean into your own understanding, right? Create the space to allow the divine to show you through the actions and reflections of what you're seeing in today's world, right? Like however you're attracting the people in your environment is the reflection of where you're vibrating at. So if you're attracting in a lower vibration, like you have to ask yourself what in you is still in co-residence. Yeah. So they just said that's it for that pathway. There could very well be a broken vow, or you could have cleared up your contracts. You could have said, hey, I understand that this person is a soulmate. This person is my twin. This person is my divine counterpart. However it looks like to you, right? And through that clarity or whatever you vocally projected out, the universe says that there will be an alignment through your own awareness and it again, they just said enlightenment. It's kind of like when this comes or whatever is like shifting your reality, whatever your old gateway happens to be, your new gateway will be horribly obvious in regards to how it unfolds to you, how it comes forward. It's almost like whatever you're going through, that activation is activating the counterpart. And so you will see the forest through the forest through the trees. I don't know what that saying is, but they just keep saying the tree through the forest. It's kind of like the identifying exactly which tree is your tree. Which counterpart is your counterpart? Like through the awareness and enlightenment of your own evolution, you are going to dictate radical transformation that is going to pull your dreams to you. It's like you are no longer chasing, you are attracting. And through that shift of that conscious awareness, they just said the tiger will see its own stripes. I don't know. There's something with tiger stripes. There's some kind of a truth that without clarity, without impediment, like you're gonna know specifically like where there has been impediment and there has been disarray and what has been keeping you isolated and stuck or away from your family, away from your friends, where your internal guidance is essentially yeah, they're just saying it's not of a higher vibration. And so like you have to gain your own clarity and your own understanding in the state of truth, in the state of like, it's a reflectiveness, right? Because again, you are what you see. And so if you have wounds that are still being re-triggered, you have to ask yourself why. If they're reflecting, the question is like, it's literally like whoever is working against you, like they think that you're weak. They think that you have no willpower. They think that you are not in your divine manifestation abilities, right? And they're causing worry and confusion and kind of like this mental mind manipulation. And so the thing is like if it's outside of you, they just said put this down. If it is outside of you, if it is impeding your union, if it is impeding like people who are soul members, our soul tribe, they are a recolation. Pineapple. I don't know why, but like this whole teepee thing, like the tent, the temporary home, the temporary situation, the like, is this really the path you want me to go down? Right? It takes a humbled heart to be able to reflect and connect with God and say, okay, God, wherever you want to lead me. Because like the thing that is hard for a lot of 33s to understand is that it's with a humble heart, right? You could very well be feeling like you're in a state of lack or that like you've had a turn and burn like relationships, turn and burn jobs. It can feel very fleeting with like friendships. It can very well feel like you are an island, right? And like through like I don't know, you might want to do this like mudra in regards to like reconnecting to the higher self or like replugging in is kind of what they're showing me. And like and do it at like sunset, like right when the sun, either when the sun is rising or when the sun is setting. And then what you do is you are going to cast out of your field like the broken promises, the haziness, the feeling like you're underwater, the being in angst when it comes to every time that you see like a battle or you feel like a bang or you feel like somebody's on your back or on your six, they just said. So I think six is protection, right? Maybe on your nine, I don't know. But or maybe that's a military something, I don't know. But they're stating like if is any worry, if you feel like your manifestations have been confusing or that you've been confused, or there's a perpetual motion of not moving forward. It's kind of like you're stuck. Um, like everything kind of feels like it's falling apart, or it's not necessarily aligning the way it needs to. Um, that can, I don't think I'm going to take these, but I am going to flip them over just so you guys can see it. Um, you could be writing out things, and sorry I say a lot, guys. It's the grade in the in between of the channeling. It's the 5,000 different like energies coming at once, and it's not just like one lifetime, right? It's not just like one past life. You could very well be writing down, or you wrote down in September, like the things that you were tired of having to rebuild that were completely broken, or the things that were falling apart, or the old wishes, hopes, dreams, desires, right? You asked for divine intervention through like the focus of like what you wanted now to January. So between September and January, you've been really like honoring like the what you really want to go after, the how you want it to unfold, the efforts you're going to be putting forward in your manifestations. And so with unwavering faith, you're stepping into your divine purpose, right? It's like through the clarity of all the things that have been broken, right? And they're just saying like it can be unions, it can be partnerships, it can be friendships, whatever has been. It's kind of like almost keeping you in a state of pride. It's a pridefulness, but it's not in a negative way, right? It's like you know your pathway. You know your purpose, right? You know that you are meant to be a leader in this lifetime, right? And there have been people, entities, um, forces that have essentially been holding up your progression through whatever bindings you've made in a past life, right? So if any of you have had a QHHT session and you have known that you've been a soldier, right? You knew that you were a defender of truth. You knew that either you fought against invaders, you fought in the Holocaust, you were in Hiroshima, you were either a victim or a perpetrator, right? And if any of those things like are resonating with you and they light up in your field, and you have had to deal with rats, you've had to deal with people who have come against you, you've had people like you've seen them switch on you, right? You've seen them go from like blue eyes to black eyes. You have clearly been fighting against entities that have caused you harm, be it you being a mystic, you being a priest, you being a Buddhist, you being a Christian, you being a heretic, all of these like differentiating timelines where you had to sacrifice yourself when maybe it didn't feel like it was your battle to fight, right? It's almost like you felt like you were on this earth to do something completely different. And there's like a heart wounding in that, right? There is this aching portion in your heart that kind of maybe in this lifetime you have not felt protected. Maybe you have been second guessing your spiritual guidance, right? Maybe your materialism has not been the greatest, or it's been a struggle, right? And those things are things that you want to, till January, you really want to start looking at or working with so that you can actually get into a state of expansion, compassion, and you become the conscious creator. You actually complete those past lives with the knowledge. It's kind of like in January, you're going to step through this enlightened portal, right? Where your gut is going to get recalibrated. You You very well may have an animal that is constantly recalibrating or resetting your solar plex. Some of you may want to get into the ocean and allow the earth to just kind of reset your field, right? You want to start working on your clairaudience, your blending and melding with spirit, the way that you are consciously creating. And Merope is essentially, like, for me, it's the magnetic field when the earth is releasing through pressurized volcanic activity, right? Like, she's breathing essentially as she's recalibrating her energy. She's also exhaling and breathing in this energetic force and releasing the magma from the field. And so through this process, and maybe that's going to be a recalibration of your masculine and feminine energies. I don't know if some of you are going to go to Hawaii, but like that could very well be emanating in your field. Yeah, and there's a vibrational frequency in regards to the alignment of the multitude of your bodies, from the ka body to the physical body. It's like your vibrational frequency of not only what you're seeing, hearing, smelling, like your body is going to be recalibrating during this expansion point. So you could very well feel that you're like expelling from like your projectile vomiting. It's coming out the other end. Like you can very well like lose 15 pounds in like 3 weeks. It's going to be like this massive shift to open up this next pathway, this next portal. And so I would say for those of you that have yet to really dive into the worry and the confusion and the haziness and the broken promises, like recalibrate your body by writing out, like, ever since September, what are the fears that have been replaying in your field? What are the thought forms? How are you releasing it? Where are you giving your conscious awareness to? Where are you replaying into the vibrational frequency of love, right? Because remember, you are the magician, you are the magi, and you create your reality. And so anything that is a lower vibrational frequency, which frankly, if you are 33 in this lifetime, is absolutely everything, right? Is you are the highest incarnated frequency on this planet. And so anything that has attempted to come against you, you command it to get behind you in the name of God, right? You place your armor on you, and you step into well-being, happiness, and the transmutation of energy, right? If you do not know how to work with your gifts, if you have questions, there is information below. I'm going to leave that there. I am open for readings and healings. If you do not have the ability to register for a session, you are welcome to email me. Again, the information is below. I do have openings. I'm booking out about 2 weeks. For QHHT sessions, it's 2 weeks. And those sessions are about 4 hours long. I am also running a holiday special on it. So normally they're 555, but they are 333 for the holidays until the year of the horse. So it'll be till the middle of February. If you are interested, by all means, we can do a online session. If you are in the Bay Area, we can also do a session. And until next time, be well and ciao.